Vince McMahon's legal team filed a new memorandum yesterday. Lawyers representing the former WWE chairman have responded to Janel Grant's legal team, filing a motion to strike comments included in McMahon's motion to compel arbitration submitted on April 23rd. Janel Grant's team contends that Vince McMahon used the motion to spread inflammatory lies and that it was used as a platform to launch vicious falsehoods attacking Janel's moral character in an attempt to harass and intimidate her into submission. Yesterday, Vince's team referred to Grant's motion as the height of hypocrisy. Plaintiff's motion to strike is meritless and the height of hypocrisy, having falsely accused defendants in a public forum despite an obligation to arbitrate in an inflammatory 67-page complaint that completely disregards the mandate of Rule 8.2 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Plaintiff now seeks to strike the preliminary statement of the memorandum of law in support of defendant's motion to compel arbitration on the purported basis that it is too inflammatory. The memorandum continues to state that Janel Grant's lawsuit includes several text messages between her and Vince, but does not include her responses. They contend to her responses to Vince McMahon's texts, quote, are equally and often more aggressive and provocative. However, it also notes that Vince is no longer in possession of those text messages as he has since deleted them. Ignoring her obligations to keep the nature of the relationship or the dispute private, the complaint unnecessarily includes private sexual text messages from defendant without including any of the plaintiff's responses to those texts. Responses which are equally and often more aggressive and provocative than defendant's communications and show not only that the relationship was consensual, but also that in many instances the plaintiff was the initiator. Defendant's communications and show not only that relationship was consensual, but also that in many instances the plaintiff was the initiator. Indeed, while defendant no longer is in possession of the text messages between the parties as he deleted them when he broke off the relationship, the discovery in this case will show that the plaintiff sent him sexually explicit images of herself and texted him to say, among other things. The memorandum concluded with, for the foregoing reasons, defendant respectfully requests that plaintiff's motion to strike be denied. Switching gears to our next story. For the booking of his character, Sami Zayn thinks the difference between Paul Triple H Levesque and Vince McMahon's WWE creative processes is a double-edged sword. Sami Zayn told the Daily Mail that with Triple H having more of a long-term vision, it might make it less likely that Sami ever becomes a WWE World Champion. Sami says Vince had a more unpredictable week-to-week approach where someone could slip on a banana peel and end up holding the world title. Still, Sami is focused on doing his best and is hopeful that it will eventually get him to the World Championship. He also went on to say that he thinks that Triple H sees him differently from how Vince McMahon saw him, especially as a good guy, saying that Vince McMahon saw him more as a bad guy for a number of reasons. He saw my irksome qualities that he thought lent itself to being an irksome character. In regards to Triple H, he said that he has much more of a long-term vision, and if you're not part of the vision, then the chances of breaking into that vision are much, much slimmer. Saying, I just do my best, I just give the best performances I can give. I try to perform with as much emotion as possible and tell the best stories I can tell, and I hope that eventually gets me there. Winning the World Championship is a goal for Sami Zayn, but it's not something that he lives and dies by. Adding, I'd like to win the world title once before I call it a day. There's no question. But I don't live and die by that. It'd be great, and I really appreciate people saying they'd love to see it. I'd love to see it too, and I hope it happens. But if it doesn't, thank you just the same because it's been amazing. Though Sami Zayn has never been a world champion on the WWE main roster, he does currently hold the Intercontinental Championship. Sami won the championship by defeating Gunther at WrestleMania 40 last month. It put an end to Gunther's historic 660-day reign as champion. This was the first time in WWE history that Vince McMahon had no involvement with WrestleMania. He resigned from WWE and its parent company TKO Group Holdings in January following the sexual abuse allegations made against him in Janel Grant's lawsuit. As for Sami Zayn, he is defending the Intercontinental title against Chad Gable and Bronson Reed in a triple threat match at WWE King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia on Saturday, May 25th. Moving on to our next story, AJ Styles is not interested in being what he calls a mediocre bad guy. The 46-year-old told Sports Illustrated recently that he wants to receive more boos than Dominik Mysterio when he's in front of a live crowd, saying, "As bad, ugly, and mean as a heel is supposed to be, I'm going to be that guy. When I step into an arena, I want more boos than Dominik Mysterio. That's what I'm after, that's my job, and I want to do it better than anybody." AJ didn't receive too many boos at WWE Backlash earlier this month, as the crowd in Lyon delighted in singing "He is really phenomenal" in French during his match with Cody Rhodes. The song was popular in the 1990s and is often sung at soccer matches. AJ Styles was eliminated in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament on Friday, losing to Randy Orton in the main event of SmackDown. He then worked the main event of 2 house shows this weekend, losing to Cody Rhodes in Chattanooga, Tennessee on Saturday and again in Macon, Georgia on Sunday. And speaking of the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments, the semifinals for both the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments in the Raw bracket are set for next week's WWE Raw episode. Jey Uso defeated Ilya Dragunov in this week's Raw main event to advance to the King of the Ring semifinals. Jey Uso will face Gunther, who defeated Kofi Kingston in the other Raw quarterfinals bout on Monday's episode. The winner of next Monday's Jey Uso vs. Gunther bout advances to the final set for the King and Queen of the Ring premium live event set for Saturday, May 25th in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. In Raw's Queen of the Ring bracket, Io Sky defeated Shayna Baszler on Monday's show to advance to the semifinals. Plus, Lyra Valkyria defeated Zoe Stark on Raw to advance to next week's semifinals contest. The winner of Io Sky vs. Lyra Valkyria will advance to the Queen of the Ring tournament finals in Jeddah. That's a wrap for this episode of The Latest. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next episode.